Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How are you all doing?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Excellent. So, without further ado, before we jump into tonight's game, who wants to tell me the story of what it is that happened the last time we played?
Well, we start off strong. We start off strong by basically breaking the law in the harbor by paying some poor folk way too much money in order to ignore the rules about not being allowed out before the militia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Followed by us sailing towards the ship that belonged to the Chromats. After having picked up our buddies from the beach, which only just worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fine.
But they made it, so that's fine. After which, once we finally got to the Chromat ship, we were allowed aboard. We had some, we tried to convince them to give up. We made some progress, but then once they were getting fired at by the militia, they caved and gave us both their captives, and gave up their gunpowder.
Yeah. Who would have thought that things could actually be improved by getting shot at?
Let's not make it a habit, actually.
Let's not.
After this, after this, we had to sail over to the militia to stop them from firing at the Dragonborn ship, which we somehow managed to do with a little bit.
Me?
And yeah, from there on out, we headed back to the city. We pretty much just went to the council, got our reward. They were happy because one of the people we rescued was kind of a big deal. Was one of their alchemists who knew a lot of the secrets of where gunpowder was stored and all that kind of stuff. And we rescued someone else called, where it is? Somewhere. I have the name somewhere.
Which name do you have?
I can go with Tiff or
Yeah,
Lorena, Ferrous, Aline Morin,
Spittleswell, yeah.
Spittleswell.
Yeah. A very lovely gnome
But yeah, we'll stick to Tiff.
who helped us draw some maps.
Yeah. She helped us figure out some maps. Revealed a way to see like where the reefs were on the around Lathermann's Cay, which is the name of the island we're heading to.
Yes.
After she helped us out, we gave her some money so she could be on our way, do whatever she pleased. And currently we are waiting
For a certain ship captain to get back, so that we
Yes.
can presumably try and find a way to convince them to drop us off at a demon island.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go great.
And potentially pick us up if they happen to be sailing through the area again.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, with that in mind, as you await the arrival of Captain Tolban, you basically have a couple of days in Castport to... if there's anything you feel like you need before heading off on the journey, then you can take some time to gather some supplies, or you can just excuse me, try that again. You can have some rest and relaxation if you would prefer instead. Yeah, you have a day or so.
Well, should we remove some party funds so I can get a knock?
At a what?
Did we remove
The knock spell?
party funds so I can add
Oh, for
knock
knock.
to my spell list? Yeah.
Um.
I don't think
We need to spend
did that
100
last
big ones, 100 big gold ones.
Oh no, we did because we did shopping and we did that last time.
Ah, you did that with the shopping, did you?
Yeah.
Right, I'll throw knock in my spell list then.
Okay. So Elizabeth does some studying.
So yeah, she spends most of the day in a room writing and practicing and writing some more.
Also, I couldn't quite recall. We learned of this, of the schedule of this captain. She sails back and forth, every 3 weeks. Was it?
Not quite. I don't recall precisely the time period, but it's I think it's just under a week. A week of travel time, so it will be just short of 2 weeks before she was due back. But the harbour master basically mentioned to you that she would be back in about 2 days, 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Oh no, it was mainly just because if it's a 2 week cycle, well, I guess it's a 1 week because it's back and forth, but that means we at least probably 2 weeks of rations, which we have, so that's all set to go. Anyone else need to prepare anything?
That's what I'm going to have a look through now.
Okay, so in the meantime, you guys buy some supplies, spend some time in the town, and generally check some odds and ends off your list. I guess if you deduct a I think it should be like a gold or so for the living expenses for the meantime.
Sure.
Is that each?
No, just for the group.
Cool.
Because yeah, you're basically spending all the time in the hotel.
Yeah. We'll just take from the party fund, I guess.
Yep. We're chilling.
So shopping completed, respite taken. About midday on the third day, a scruffy-looking boy in like a long-sleeved shirt and very tatted-looking like dock workers' trousers comes in through the front door of the hotel whilst you're in the common room. Spies the group of you and runs over and passes a folded message to you, Grim.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I guess I'll take a quick look at what the message is.
Yep.
Although I'm pretty sure I know.
You flip it open and it's a quickly written message from the dockmaster that says Captain Tolban has just pulled into port. She has a turnaround of approximately a day and a half. So get yourselves over here if you want to have a word with her.
Excellent. Well, I guess I'll have to pay the guy because
Yep.
that was kind of part of the deal.
Yeah, you shove 2 copper pieces into his hand and he leaves.
Excellent. Well, anybody else? Well, I guess anyone else around, or
I mean, again, yeah, you're all sort of in the vicinity.
Oh yeah, it was more as in well, that's fine.
I think he was talking about other people.
Oh, no, it's still
Oh,
fairly
no.
unoccupied in the
No,
tavern.
I was more. No, I was talking about the party. I didn't know if anybody
Oh.
was like doing anything. But no. Well. Our ticket is here, so potential ticket. We might all want to show up just so she knows what she's dealing with.
Sure.
Would it not be polite to potentially give her a moment to, I don't know, maybe, like, do you want to just, like, barge in and be like, hey, we know you've just got here, but nah.
Well,
I mean, we can at
She'll
least
have-
make our like presence known in the fact that we want to speak to her, and
Yeah.
she can kind of do that when she has a moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
well, basically, we're making an appointment would be a good way of putting it. But if she wants to talk immediately, then we're there.
Good point. Well, might as well find out. Oh, and, yeah. Let's get going.
Yes.
And obviously try not to offend her.
Wow, that's a very pointed remark.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
wasn't targeting that, I was just saying, generally.
Well, yeah. You can't be careful enough, can you? Oh well. Let's head out.
Okay, so you head back down towards the wharf master's office, where you met him previously. You knock at the door, and you hear some muttered voices from inside, and then the wharf master calls out and basically says, "Come in." As you push the door open, you step inside, and the wharf master is sat behind his desk, much as the last time you were here, and leaning on his desk with one arm, counting out a fairly hefty number of gold coins onto his desk, is a dark-skinned woman with several long dreadlocks, like hanging from the back of her head. Across her torso is a sleeveless leather jacket held by a number of whalebone clasps, each of which has almost like a silver filigree around the point where it connects with the leather. On her right arm, you can see as she is counting out these coins, she wears I guess actually it's probably more gold-looking bangle around her forearm or her upper arm. Which is half obscuring a rather peculiar-looking snake tattoo. And as you step inside, the harbour master turns and says, Bethany, these are the people I said who might be interested in purchasing some passage from you. And I will show you the woman I've just described. Yeah, the woman turns towards you, assesses your group, and sort of says, "Okay then."
I am Quagrim Daemaris from the Umber Eagle. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
Would now be a convenient time, or to discuss passage, or
She turns back towards the harbour master and says, "Are we done?" He sort of says, we can settle the difference later. And she says, sort of like, turns back towards you guys and says, well, now seems as good a time as any.
Okay. Well, let's get straight to the point. We are looking to get to let's go Lathermann's Cay. Are you familiar with this place? It's along your route.
She sort of looks at you with a quizzical expression, so says, "Don't know anywhere by that name."
It's the Blackmount Isles.
Ah, the Blackmount Isles. Yeah, I know them.
It's one of those islands we have. Well, we can point it out on the map. We were hoping that you would be willing to make a tiny detour just to drop us off, and we would be willing to compensate you for that. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we're also hoping that, well, we're also hoping to arrange potential pickup. Would you be interested?
There's a fairly long and slightly uncomfortable pause. Captain Tolban sort of looks down, like jumbles around a couple of the gold coins in a hand for a moment and says, "You know, you're asking a lot. But maybe we can make this work." See, my last cargo didn't exactly pay out in the way I was hoping. So let me make you an offer.
Okay.
You help me settle my debt here, and I'll take you. I'll take you as close as you need to be, but there's going to need to be some preparations, and you're going to pick up the bill for them.
Curious. Well, guess we can arrange that.
I feel it's also worth stressing that there is a slight chance that our pickup won't be necessary.
Well, don't worry. We'll send you a message if it's necessary. But first, let's arrange drop-off, which is the most important part. So, but what kind of preparations and how bad is the debt?
She turns to the harbour master, says, "How much am I missing?" He says, well, from what I'm adding up in here in port tax and transit costs, we're looking at somewhere in the region of 60 gold.
Oh my god. Sorry, I can't help but think about the fact that we paid these two sailors 300 gold!
Lol.
Yeah, but
Meanwhile, this woman is willing to take us to an Isle of Demons for 60 gold.
Well,
I mean,
a bit
that
more, but
yeah, not quite.
Yeah, it's not quite 60. It's a little bit more than that.
60 gold
But
is just to get the deal secured.
yeah, then we still need to pay for the whatever she.
Preparation costs.
Yeah, well, 60 gold won't be that big of an issue. However, what kind of prep are you talking about?
Well, for starters, if you want to be dropped off, unless you want to be dropped right into the ocean, you're going to need a smaller boat. I don't have one.
I just don't have a small boat in this port community.
Well, then it's, to be fair, it's quite fancy to have a small boat, I guess.
Well, your ship's got to be quite big to have then a small boat to launch from it.
Okay.
Precisely my point.
Anything else?
Well, you're going to need supplies, and potentially I might need a hand convincing some of the crew to take the journey back with me. Some of them are second guessing after our last payout didn't, as I said, go quite as planned. So I might need some help there.
Okay.
The thing that's going to be maybe a little difficult is a request I'm going to make specifically based on where we're going.
Yes.
I'm going to need holy water.
How much?
Potentially enough to wash down maybe 10 people.
That's a lot of holy water.
That's a lot of
That's
yeah,
a lot
it's
of
even
holy
more
water.
like holy water.
Well, put it this way, it's for your benefit.
Well, we have the ability to make holy water. We can we can definitely help you out with your debt. The small boat. Like what would that usually go for?
That depends on the kind of boat you're looking to purchase. The kind of boat that will fit on my ship, you're going to need a specialist. But now that I think about it, I may know someone who's selling something that you might be interested in. That's if he's still in town.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess we are interested in this. So yeah. What would that be that they're selling?
She offers like a rather smile and says, "Well, he's a bit of an oddity collector. The boat he has in question, well, supposedly it'll fit in the palm of your hand."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Considering how far out you're probably gonna have to be, I guess a boat is gonna be almost a must.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
if
so
it
just
doesn't
put
work
that-
out with him, then we can try and find a intermediary in the meantime. But
Well, I guess how far, like in general, how far away from the coast do you have to be? We have a map, but I'm not. Does the map show that?
it doesn't give quite a detailed idea of depth of water, but
Because I guess we'll give it a shot. However, if we have to swim, like if you can get us within, what would it be? 400 feet of the coast, that would be an alternative, but I'm not sure how.
put it this way.
Well, we'll think about that. We'll cross that bridge once we get there. Worst case, we'll dive in.
I can get you in theory, as close to this island as you need for whatever it is that you're going to be doing, but the closer we get to the island, the more dangerous things become, and the more convincing me and my crew are going to need to go into this. So it's probably in your best interests to arrange a boat.
Okay, well, that leaves us with a ton of holy water. Well, deal with your tab. That. And a boat. That's it, right? Besides the morale of the crew.
That's pretty much things as I see them.
Well, 3 of those shouldn't be a problem. The morale of the crew is something we can definitely work on. I guess we'll we might as well start by handing over 60 gold.
Okay, yeah, you put down 60 gold. The harbour master starts totting it up, checks it all, and says, well, Bethany, that's us settled. She smiles and says, thank you.
Well, I guess step 2 is for us to find a boat. The holy water won't be that big of an issue, but...
Well, it'll take a bit of time and a bit of resource hunting, but it won't be that bad.
Yes, who's this friend of yours, and where could we find them if they were in town?
She pulls from like an inside pocket like a faded like strap of leather that's got like a bunch of I guess they're like slips of paper on them, and folds it out and holds it up to you and shows you basically an emblem that looks. I guess everyone give me a history check.
Nice.
Not nice.
I'm still continuing my trend of not rolling much higher than a 10, though, on like anything I've got a plus 10 in.
You don't really need to.
Well, yeah. Just pointing out that me and Arya basically almost rolled the same thing in terms of just a flat
Yep.
dice.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So, to all of you, the sigil basically looks like three curved feathers that fan out in like a like the blades of a fan almost. That between them there are I think there's like 6 lines. Yeah, there would be 6 lines. Each of which has like a different detailing on the lines. Like one of them is the lines are curled. One of them, the lines are like jagged and dotted. Elizabeth and Grim, you being educated folk, you recognize this insignia to be a it's the mark of an arcanist, and basically the it's like a school marking almost, for somebody who has graduated from one of the magic schools in the east.
Well, what's that?
Yeah. So yeah, she shows you this. She shows you this sigil and says, "He'll no doubt be hiding out somewhere, trying to hawk his wares. Find him. If you find him, his name is Audubon Tarland. Like I said, he's a collector of oddities, so he can be a little unconventional. Just be patient with him. He'll get you what you need."
Oh, well, we've met those kinds of people before. They're fine. It usually works out.
Alright then. I really am curious as to how you think you're going to find all this holy water so quickly, but I'm going to get things set up with my ship.
Yeah.
I guess if you haven't got things sorted in the next 2 days, I'm gonna look to head out on my own, so...
Okay. Well,
Where will we be able to find you? Just at your ship, or...?
Take a walk with me, I'll show you.
Right.
Yeah, she steps out of the door, walks a short distance down the dockside to where a fairly large, of a similar size actually to the ship that you sailed on the last time you were here with Captain Morgren. Yeah, a similar style, similar shape. Obviously a sort of a fairly long haul cargo vessel. But this one has instead of the figurehead that Morgren had of the woman riding the half lion, half man, this one has a majestic-looking, what looks like a bird of prey with its wings swept backwards, carrying in its clutches an egg. I guess it would make sense. Everybody roll me a nature check except Arya.
Okay.
guessing Arya knows.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Elizabeth and Arya identify, from the appearance and the markings, you would guess this is a phoenix.
Oh snap.
And yeah, Captain Tolban indicates and says, "This is my ship."
It's a fine ship.
Thank you. I'll be here if you need me.
Excellent.
If you succeed in your mission to find the holy water, tell them to deliver it to the Phoenix.
Okay. Will do.
She walks up to the side of the ship and whistles up. And a man pops his head up over the side, salutes, and then throws down a gangplank. And she walks up.
Well, so we best get going, or So we only have, what is it? Yeah, we only have. I hope to complete this within like a day.
Holy water may take a little longer than that, but I can only do so much in
I
one
was gonna
day.
say, I don't know how much you can create in one day, Kelariis.
Yeah. Also, I realized the flaw in that plan. I don't have that spell prep because I didn't know I was gonna need to be fucking making holy
Ah,
water. So
fuck.
it's gonna at least take us like another day.
Yep.
And we need to get the powdered silver for it anyway.
Well, it looks like we're going shopping for today and making holy water tomorrow.
Well,
And potentially
guess-
buying some.
if we don't succeed at the shopping, then yeah, well, actually, with that, but we'll think of something. But yeah, let's well maybe Oderban Tarland has something else to offer as well. No, who knows?
Well, the real question is: are we going to? Shall we stay together or try and split up to get multiple things done at once?
The way I see it, there's only two things that really need doing: holy water and Tarland.
And potentially motivating the crew, she did say.
Yes.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, but like right now.
Well, let's get ourselves going.
Oh, there's. Well, whilst we're on our way, there's probably going to be one issue.
What's that?
They might want to be doused in holy water once they come pick us up again, if they dare.
I mean, she just said for 10 people, so I assume it's a one-time thing that they'll need. Otherwise, she would say to do it twice, I'd imagine.
Either that, or she's already planned for 10 people, or because she's thinking 5 people twice.
Well, I guess we'll find out, and otherwise,
I mean, we've got what she's asking us for. If we show up with what she's asking for, then there's still the rest of the negotiation.
well,
Like, we have a shopping list. Let's just
Oh.
get it.
I guess there's one reason. Yeah. I guess does anybody want to see if we can get some silver powdered, or
Yeah. Do we want to do that first, or all go to, I wrote down his name and immediately forgot. Tarland?
no? You're right. We should see if we can find him first.
Yeah, I think the sooner we start our search for him, the better, if he's hard to track down.
She didn't mention where we could. She didn't give us a clue, did she?
No, she just said he'll be hiding away somewhere hawking his wares.
Hmm.
So, presumably somewhere
Oh.
where there are shops.
Yeah. Somewhere where there's shops, but still semi out of the way if he's hiding somewhere? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure if we ask around a bit, and
Yeah.
we'll find him.
Well,
Like
let's go.
somebody selling like rare antiquities rarely goes unnoticed.
Yeah. True. Let's be off then. We want to do this quickly.
Okay.
I guess there's like a merchant state district or something that we have to head to, or is this kind of-
Well, there's definitely like a main high street. I was looking for a PDF that I can't find. Where did I put it?
I'm guessing, considering the nature of his merchandise, we should probably try and look over at the
I
Well,
found it.
the fancier end of the spectrum, or the street.
Yeah, he's not likely to be trying to sell wares like that around the common folk.
Okay, so you're heading to the more the upper end of town, away from the dockside where the larger buildings and more expensive houses are.
Well,
Yes. Because there's no point trying to sell his goods amongst people who probably can't afford them.
Okay. So I guess if somebody wants to lead an investigation check and somebody else assist, make me an investigation check.
I don't have great investigation, but I
Right,
can.
right.
I have plus 10
Seven.
investigation.
Yeah, so Elizabeth and Grim can take this check. Well, Elizabeth take the check and Grim assist.
Does that mean I have advantage?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Wow.
So, you, after maybe 15-20 minutes of just sort of wandering around these shops, you find somebody who is, there's like an upmarket antiquities shop that you happen to come across. You step inside. You ask about if the proprietor has heard of Audubon Tarland, and you watch as across the face of the person at the front of this shop, a look of disdain and irritation comes across their face, and they respond with, "Yes, I've heard of them." You ask where they might be found, and they say, "Head out of the shop and go down to the end of the road, turn off left, and head up towards the houses at the top of the hill. You'll reach a bend in the road, head down the first side street you come across, and you'll find him."
Thank
Well,
you very much.
As you leave, they, through gritted teeth, just go, "Good luck."
well, before we go, I guess we might as well ask. You wouldn't happen to sell any magical artifacts?
The shopkeeper shakes their head and says, "No, not here, I'm afraid. It's
Oh,
this
that's
is somewhat more of a, and it, confirmed from looking around. This is somewhat more of furnishings and other dealings."
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Because that means we'll still have to find Tarland. Oh well.
You're just trying to antagonize this person.
It was a perfectly reasonable question.
I was like, well, on one hand, I was like, well, like if he's so annoyed with Tarland, maybe it's because he's a competitor. But if he doesn't even sell the same wares, then I'm like, well, then I can't really do anything about it, now can I?
Fair. Well, let's just follow those directions, shall we?
So you follow those directions and head down this side street, and Elizabeth, with your perception, you notice pretty much straight away that as you turn into this alleyway, up at the end there is just a reinforced wooden door with a small sign with that symbol that the captain showed you painted on it. The door does not appear to have a handle.
I guess I'd just knock on the door.
You knock on the door. Seemingly no response.
Knock a little louder.
Okay.
I guess. Well, I guess if that like was knocking again. It's like we were told to find you by a friend.
We're looking for Odoban Tarland.
There is a shuffling from behind the door. A jangle of chains. The door cracks open ever so slightly. And a beady looking eye peers out and says, "Who exactly are you supposed to be?"
Well,
We were told by Captain Tolban that you might have something useful for us to help, so that she can then help us.
Do you have coin?
Yes,
Yep. We have coin if you have wares.
because she does. We have coin if you have wares.
That's good.
Yeah, this was just like, yes, of course.
2 minutes. Then you may enter. No weapons.
Okay. Oh, where do we leave them?
Leave them in the hall. Door closes.
well,
Okay.
Haul her in the bag then.
yeah, might as well put him in the bag.
I guess the next one.
Kirby just pulls out the bag of holding. Right, everybody, weapons.
Wouldn't you get really suspicious if we're like, where do we leave weapons, and then we don't leave off any weapons?
No. I don't know.
Also, he might know it's a bag of holding.
I mean, if he doesn't want the weapons out and on us, then out and on us, then that's taken care of. If he wants them laid out, we can just pull them out of the bag, like.
I suppose.
Yeah. Plus, we can pull out the non-magical variants, which. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Weapons in the bag. I guess is the staff a weapon?
The staff is definitely a weapon, but whether or not it would be considered a weapon is another question.
It is damaged.
It's that scene from Lord of the Rings where they tried to take Gandalf's staff, and he just goes, "You wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick, now would you?"
Yeah, but I'm not old.
You're not an old man, so yeah.
I am very much not an old man. I'm a healthy young woman. And I'll put the staff in the bag just in case.
Okay.
Staff and dagger in bag.
Okay. Yeah, you disarm. As you finish putting all of the weapons in the bag, about 2 minutes later, give or take a few seconds, the door swings inwards.
Oh. Is he there?
Nobody's there.
Oh. I guess we walk inside.
Okay. You step inside, and let's. Do I have a suitable? No, this is not right.
That sounded like Destiny 2 music for a second.
Yeah. I don't know what half these tracks are.
Awkward.
No, it's fine. I'll just put the this one. So you step into the hall, and as you step inside, there is an incredibly pungent smell that hits you. Those of you who have ever done ritual casting, this is the unmistakable scent of large amounts of incense being burned.
Yep. Despite being a caster, Elizabeth does not like incense.
Yeah.
None of that smell.
yeah, it is very potently pungent in here. And yeah, you shuffle into a small hallway, and the door ahead of you is left open a crack. Presumably you just press on through.
Yeah. I mean, does the door close behind us?
The door does not close behind you immediately, no.
Oh, perhaps should
Yeah.
we close behind us?
I mean, he seems to like his people not barging in, so
Yeah, might as well.
leave,
Okay,
leave things
you-
how you found them.
You push the door to, it closes up. As you watch, you push the door to, there's a heavy bolt and chain hanging off to one side that just lifts up and locks into place all by itself. Seemingly all by itself.
That's fine.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yes. Shall we head in further?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You push open the door. The room that you step into looks like the intention for it was to be a living room, but somebody has pushed all of the furnishings to the sides. The fireplace is roaring with an open fire, and the mantelpiece above the fireplace is completely covered in incense burners of all shapes and sizes, all of which have been lit. Taking up the majority of the centre of the room is a wooden booth that has been covered in a heavy, dark curtain. And peering out of the box in the middle is, to your surprise, an elf.
Oh.
The same BDI that you saw previously is present, and in his other eye socket is a quite obviously false eye that seems to be made of some sort of crystal. And he watches you approach and says, "So, the salty sea dog sends friends to peruse my wares."
Acquaintances, I suppose.
Very little difference.
I suppose. But yes, we were told that you might have a boat that might be of interest.
A boat. Yes. A boat I do have.
So,
He just continues to stare at you.
I guess the real question here is, would you be willing to part with your boat?
Yes. Yes, I think I would, for the right price.
Well,
Now we
may
come-
may we see it?
Of course. Produces from behind his little kiosk or whatever it is a box. It's a strange golden wood. Probably about 12 inches long, about 6 inches wide, and 6 inches tall. And places it on the desk with a practiced pride and says, "Here it is."
Well,
Yeah, she mentioned it was a boat. Suppose it fits in your hand. I imagine it gets bigger.
Yes. I would let you try it, but It wouldn't work in here.
No, of course not.
Well,
I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out.
I guess just to be sure, we should probably at least check if it's magical.
Gestures his hands broadly and says, "Of course. I am no charlatan."
No, I do not wish to insult you, but considering these kind of things, it's always best to be safe.
A smart buyer.
And I, for one, am just interested generally.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Can we try and open the box?
So you pick up the box. There's no identifiable way of opening it. It seems to have like there's parts that look like they open and fold out, but there's no way you can get hold of them.
Okay, so at this point, it's just sort of gonna go. Oh, so it's not a box that has the boat in it. This is the boat.
Precisely. Have a look on the bottom.
I'll do what he says.
Okay. You flip it over. You speak Elvish, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Stupid question.
Yes, I do. I speak like 50 languages. Not that many. A lot of languages.
So there are 3 words in Elvish on the bottom. Three words in Elvish on the bottom. And they're all Elvish words for travelling. One of them is the one at the top is the Elvish word for like the end of a journey, like the completion of a journey. The one underneath it is the word for like a short travel, and then the other one is the words for the best way to transliterate it into common is it's a word that means to go a long way with others. From your understanding of previously having handled magical items, these are probably command words, and you should be careful where you speak them when you hold it.
Yes. Yes, I should. Right. I mean, Elizabeth's just looking the thing all over. This is absolutely fascinating.
Yes, quite.
Okay, wait, is this magical or mechanical based?
Well, there's words of power written on it, so I imagine it's magical.
Sadly, no gnomish invention went into this, I'm afraid. It is purely a magic artifact.
Well,
I don't know.
Something you can't quite match with just engineering, unfortunately.
It's very little that can match the elven craft.
Yes. I don't imagine there's too much that responds by just you saying words at it.
Sadly so. Alexa, play Despacito.
Oh
my god.
Never speak to you again.
God damn it. I can't
That was
believe
very
Mr.
good.
Burns just told... Can I just point out this voice does sound like Mr. Burns? Anyway.
I hate the fact that Justin Bieber is canon in this universe.
God damn it. Anyway.
Oh, well,
So
I guess
you say for the right price. What kind of price would you be looking for?
Well, that's in the question of what you're prepared to offer. The boat itself is worth 10,000 gold. But I'm more interested in what you're willing to exchange for it.
Can we just like have it on a loan?
What, do you want to propose that?
Yeah. I'd say we'll need it forever, but it would be useful for the trip we're going on.
What exactly are you suggesting?
Well, given that we won't want the item forever and we could return it to you after our trip, would it be possible to get it on a loaner price instead of paying the full price?
And what precisely is your guarantee that you'll ever come back?
I mean, we face. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say we face harder things than this island. Knowing that it's gonna be worse, but he doesn't need to know that.
I guess. Like thinking about it, like I'm not sure how much we would actually be willing to give for a boat, even if it's as great as one in your pocket. Because like for 10,000, we could easily get one custom made.
Yeah.
Well, we could have like an actual boat for that money.
Right, but we'd have the trouble of, like, taking
Yeah.
places.
True, but I guess does anybody have anything left that they don't really need? Yeah.
I mean, me along with Elizabeth are just very much deep in thought, trying to think.
I might be willing to let you borrow it if an insurance is left, shall we say. Something of equal or greater value.
Do we have anything like that?
I mean, well, Elizabeth's just gonna say, material value, or just, like, do you mean purely material value, or...
Material value, arcane interest.
I suppose sentimental value doesn't mean much then.
Sentimental doesn't buy my retirement.
Of course not.
No, but there is something that can buy you a healthier retirement.
I'm curious.
I guess I'll present the Parry Up of Health.
Okay.
This will prevent you from ever getting ill, which is quite nice. Especially considering the older you get, the worse diseases are. So.
Interests me, but I feel like its value is not quite the same.
I have something in mind. Can you pass me the bag, Grim?
Is it a certain staff?
No.
Fine. Yeah. What do you think? What are you thinking? I'll hand you the bag.
It is the staff.
Okay, you produce the stuff.
And she's just gonna say, it's a little damaged.
Yeah, but I don't think we want to leave this in the hands of, someone else.
Well,
He reaches out a hand and says, "May I?"
I mean, yeah, I'll hand it to him. Yeah,
Begins
but it's
like running his fingers along it very gently and sort of sniffs at it.
it's a little damaged because I had to
It is.
separate it from another artifact, but
He licks a thumb and runs it up the inside edge.
Why? Please don't.
Now this is curious.
Yeah, but it's not really up for an offer. But I guess
I mean, it's only, like you say, it's only temporary. Once we bring the boat back, we get the staff back. And it's pretty and it is damaged.
Ah,
yeah, but like,
I would very much like to possess it.
see, there's one problem with that whole plan. Like that stuff. Like if let's say for whatever reason, our friend here decides that he would rather have the stuff. What's to stop him from just leaving and then just leaving us with the boat? Because I'm pretty sure that this stuff is a little more valuable than the old boat.
Not in its current state.
No,
The
but it has-
restored.
Yeah. But that's yeah.
I tell you something. I know a few people. Perhaps if you leave this with me, I will lend you your boat, and perhaps I can look to restoring at least a small portion of this. And then, should you return from your adventures, perhaps we will exchange a small amount of gold, and then I can return this to you.
Yeah, I think.
And you're not going to keep it from us if we do return or when we return with your boat.
Also, that small amount of gold is very.
Non-specific.
Yeah, because for people that deal with these kind of things, a small amount can be could be considered a fortune to others.
And what would you consider reasonable exchange?
I'm not sure what you can achieve.
I would say if I could fully restore this item, its value would be, at least to the right buyer, probably in the same market as the boat. So, if I were to restore it to its current state, you were to return my boat to me, I would consider this the repair costs. If I call in the right favors. If I'm able to restore this to its full capacity, how does 3,000 gold sound? It is a powerful item.
It is. Oh, I'm gonna leave it up to the others. What do you guys think?
It's a lot of money to throw around, but
Yeah, I feel like its value isn't in gold exactly.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we do need a boat.
Well, we can make do without one, but it would be rough at best. Boats. It's a little. Well.
I mean, with my arcane knowledge, that's probably a reasonable amount for restoring something like this, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Or would I?
in fact, for 3,000 gold, he's cutting you a pretty good deal.
yeah, but like the problem here is partially the fact that we don't have 3,000 gold. So we need to find at least 1,500 gold on that island. Well, maybe if we do our best, we can. Maybe we only need like 1,000. But after that, we would be in pretty bad shape. On the other hand, we're almost guaranteed good loot. Or, well, interesting loot. Considering nobody's ever come back.
Yeah, I will say, from Elizabeth's perspective, as much as the idea of looting a first age ruin is kind of, you're not a fan of the idea, but hey, this stuff belongs in a museum, and museums tend to pay pretty handsomely for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess if we don't, I guess we might be able to accept it. Although I am still a little concerned about leaving an artifact of this power with someone.
I mean, just look at all the steps we had to go through to even get to him. And
That doesn't really tell you much about their allegiance. However,
he's definitely a man of security.
but well, if you guys think it's a good idea, then we will do it. I think if it works out, it will definitely be beneficial in the long run.
I'm all for it.
I mean, if you think that we can get the money that we need to pay by the time we get back.
Yeah. Well, even if we don't,
Yeah.
we could probably part with some of our get rid of some of our other stuff.
At the end of the day as well, you will also be in possession of an incredibly valuable magic boat.
Yeah.
So.
True.
However, we have to trade the boat and the money, not just.
Yeah.
To
We
get the
can't
staff
sell-
back, yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't just sell
but-
the boat, unfortunately.
Yeah. No. But no, I guess. So are we all okaying this?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess then I will hold a hand out to him and say, I believe these terms are agreeable.
He looks at your hand for a moment and says, "The terms are agreeable."
Awkward.
Just two hands around the staff, just kind of clutches it and like,
Yeah.
I'm not checking your hand.
Yeah. Okay. Then we will be back, I suppose. Will you still be in the same place?
yeah, I guess he holds up a finger from him and says, I think perhaps you should take this with you. And reaches behind his thing and pulls out I guess it's like a small bronze disc that he slides the top to, or rotates the top half, and it springs open, and hands it to you. And you look inside it, and basically inside is a tiny sliver of crystal suspended in liquid. And he says, should I not be here when you get back? Take a look. It'll help you find me.
Okay.
I mean, just because I want to weirdly check this, if I move around him, does the crystal move? I'm just wondering if the crystal points at him. That's what I'm thinking.
Give me a perception check. It appears to be drawn to something in the room. Not necessarily him.
Yeah.
But definitely something in the general vicinity of the half of the room he's standing in.
Okay. Well then, I guess she'd just nod, close it up, put it somewhere safe and say, thank you.
Okay. So, yeah. Add...
Magic boat!
Yeah. Magic boat and unusual crystal compass to your inventory. And remove the broken staff of thunder and lightning.
Yep, I'll take him. Use my staff.
Okay.
Oh, before we head out, how long will this process take? Probably.
To restore the staff.
Yes, because well, would be.
Depends on how busy my contacts are.
Like
Could be a
months.
week, could be a few weeks.
How does this? Well, we'll probably be back to check in maybe a month. Could be slightly more, slightly less, but I guess that will work.
It will be finished when it's finished.
I would
Well, I
happily
just need to make sure that a month was an actual possibility, because if it takes 2 months and we show up in a month, then it would have been pointless. However, if there's a chance, then we might as well check it.
It depends. If the enchantment itself seems to be, at least partially intact. If it would take longer, I will let you know.
Then, pleasure doing business with you.
Indeed. I feel like my collection has broadened today.
I guess I'd give him a short bow and prepare to leave.
Okay. So you all leaving, or?
Guess so.
Okay. So you turn around. As you step out into the hallway, the heavy bolt moves aside, drops to the ground, and the door slides inwards.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that leaves us with the next step.
Okay.
Silver
Holy
dust.
water.
Yeah.
Or holy water directly can also work.
Yeah, I'm not
No.
sure.
Well, I feel like we might have to do a bit of both. If we don't have, we've got 2 days to get it all to her, but we can't make enough in 1 day, so we might have to make like however much we can and then buy the rest.
Yeah, so I have a question about how much I can make, because it lists it as a vial, but it doesn't specify how big that vial is.
Can you douse one person in just a vial of holy water?
Well, I don't know how much, like, I don't know, like, how much is in a vial? Like, how big of a vial could I use for something like this?
See, I think the description "a vial of holy water" is deceiving, because the item it actually gives you, according to the player's handbook, is the flask of holy water, which is like the thing you throw at people
Right.
as a like a ranged
Pulling
weapon.
off someone with that.
So yeah, I feel like in mechanical terms you need to produce 10 units of holy water, and that cast will produce a unit of holy water.
Okay. So
How
I
many
know
times
that
can you cast it?
upcasting doesn't usually give it anything else, but like,
Um,
basically I can just use all my spell slots and we can get 10 out of this. Like, I shit you not, if we can get the silver, I can just do this 10 times tomorrow. It'll take for fucking ever, but I can do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, what's the casting? time?
oh yeah, because
Hour.
you're a
10 hours.
do you have access to ritual casting?
I don't think paladins do.
No, I don't think so
No,
either.
I don't think so. It is listed as a ritual spell, and like it's in the paladin thing. But I don't think I can actually do rituals.
Hang on. Let's have a look.
If I
Yeah, only bards, clerics, druids, and wizards have ritual casting class feature. That's a shame.
That's
Also, there is a size for a vial. A vial is 4 ounces of liquid. In the player's handbook.
Shh, it's okay.
I have no frame of reference for how much liquid that is.
Nope.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was
I-
like, I don't know.
I do
That's,
also
Some
not.
amount.
that's some.
That's a
An
amount
amount
of
of
liquid.
holy water.
Let's see. It's
Johnny has 19 vials of holy
about
water.
120.
Why does Johnny have so many
milliliters.
vials?
About 120 milliliters, apparently.
Mind your own business.
But
That's
that
not
is
a lot.
that is not
That still
much.
doesn't mean anything to me.
It's half
okay,
a cup.
it's-
Yeah,
Look at Americans.
half a cup. That's actually very accurate.
Just use the metric system for fuck's sake.
No.
Anyways, so 10 units, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It seems a bit ridiculous to me that it produces that little holy water. So yeah. Oh yeah. Also, douse might have been the wrong word, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, like, maybe I'm biased because it is also, like, spell slots, but for 25 silver worth of powder that's consumed, that seems really small, but I guess, like, because it can be used against creatures and do
Yeah.
damage, maybe that's why, I don't know.
But yeah, I will say, if you want to go ahead and use 10 castings of ceremony to do it, then you can. But
That means if you start casting at 8 AM in the morning, we'll have finished and can go and give her all the stuff by 6 PM.
I mean, yeah, like, the hardest part about that is going to be getting the powdered silver that we need, because that's still, like, a decent amount of powdered silver, but I
Yeah.
imagine that is still cheaper just because we don't have to pay somebody else for
Well, yeah, well, how much do you need for each cast?
25 silver each.
Okay, 25 silver's worth. So that means we need 250 silver's worth total, which is 25 gold.
Wait, no, I think
So
you need 25 gold's worth of silver per cast.
Well, yeah. Yeah, 25 no,
Oh,
25
wait,
gold's
I
worth.
fucked up.
No?
Did I read that wrong?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, well...
Wow,
Oh.
that's a lot of silver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that is a lot of fucking
that's-
silver.
Okay.
that's
I read
200.
That's more silver than water at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You can
it's
fill a vial of silver without.
well, like, somehow 5 pounds. of-
Here's your holy water. Just chucks a lot of silver, like damp silver dust at
Yeah.
people.
Wait, how much does it cost to buy regular as holy water? Because that
25 gold. It's the same price.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
What the fuck? Why the fuck would I? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you can
Well-
produce it anywhere, is the
Yeah, I
advantage of having
guess.
ceremony.
Yeah, whereas you'd have to go to like a church to get it otherwise.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
That does mean we could just like I'm assuming this place has a church. Like we could just buy loads of holy water there.
Well, they might not have like a lot.
No.
But
It's
perhaps we
fun.
should make a stop anyway.
Well, I will tell you, in Casport there are 4 churches, I think.
Oh damn.
No, there's 5.
Oh, that means each church only has to have 2 flasks of holy water. We're fine.
Surely they have more than that at a church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could just
Yeah.
straight up buy it.
Wait, hang on. I need to do the maths here. There's 4 human, 1 dwarf, 1 elf. Technically, there are 7 churches.
Jesus Christ.
Some of them are not very big, but technically there are 7.
Wait,
Well-
what are all of them?
To Torm, to Paylor, to Tempus, to Helm, to the Elven Pantheon, to Moradin, and to I forget her name. The halfling deity. Yondala.
Ah. Huh.
So 7.
Well, that's interesting.
I mean, it sounds like you won't have to do 10 cast this. We could just go see if they have holy water.
Yeah.
That would, well, considering you can't cast it yet anyway, that would definitely be the worst choice.
Luck.
Yeah, and it's the same value anyway.
Fight
Look, maybe
me, I
we can still
read
use
small
ceremony.
descriptions.
Look, maybe we can still use ceremony tomorrow. Who wants to get married?
Who wants to get married?
Well,
I mean, hey, the marriage bonus for ceremony is pretty good. If you're gonna get married, you might as well do ceremony.
I feel like none of us are gonna get married.
No.
At least not to each other.
I can't believe
Not
we're gonna
too
die alone.
What?
Okay. Die alone. Ugh.
I'm sure you won't die alone.
You won't die alone. You'll die together. It'll be fine.
Wow.
No,
Well, that's
everyone
We
else
either
will
die together or we don't at all.
Grim will never die.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everyone else will die. Grim will survive.
That's worse somehow.
Yeah, that's
that is
so
kinda-
much worse.
He's
Have
been
a
there
healthy
before.
dose of PTSD, Grim.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's kind of done that, hasn't he?
Although,
Grim's just like, well, time to start again, I guess.
Yeah, but Grim, if you manage to recover Elizabeth's ring, you could at least have her whispering in your ear for all eternity.
That's really not.
Yep.
It's not good.
It's not
I feel like she's a little bit too talkative for that.
You say that like you can't tell, like you can't get her to stop by just saying, "Please stop talking."
It's fine.
Like, yeah, she's talkative if you let her talk.
So,
Don't put me back in the jewelry box. I swear I'll be quiet.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
no. I feel so mean.
Anyway,
The other rings are awful
Oh.
company. They don't even try and talk. I have to do all the work.
Wow.
Anyway. Anyway, give me a second because I need to turn a light on. It suddenly got very dark.
okay. So, I'm guessing you're doing a round tour of the temples and churches to see what holy water you can scrounge up. Yeah, if you're just going round them all, getting 10 will not be difficult. Yeah, it will just cost you money unless you want to try and get it some other way.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what other way we could do besides, you know. Oh well, I guess there's one way we could do it.
What?
Could convince the one of the churches that Well, one of them potentially that we're doing it for the greater good, and they might want to sponsor our expedition to Demon Island.
I mean, we are doing it for the greater good. We're fighting an evil secret underground organization that wants to control an evil demon army. If that's
Yeah,
not for the
but-
greater good, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but
we
it's
also
also a
need
matter of convincing them of that.
Well,
Yeah. Exactly. Also, we're not exactly poor, so it would be kinda.
yeah.
I think if we could barely afford it, maybe, but if
I mean-
we have the money, unfortunately. Well,
mean, if anything, it's
fortunately.
good to support your local churches. I'm sure the churches of this world do great things.
You might want to be careful with that. Some churches, not so good.
What do you
But-
mean? Why wouldn't giving potentially 250 gold to a church dedicated to the true neutral god of war be a bad?
I can think of at least 5 reasons why off the top of my head.
I have no idea why that could ever be a bad thing in any context.
Well, to be fair as well, he is also the Lord of Storms, which is probably why he has a a temple in a port town, more
Yeah,
than
exactly.
the war aspect. Although being on the cusp of a war is it's
Yeah.
probably pretty good for their business.
Like, here's the thing as well, guys. Like, yeah, if we make that donation to his church, he might be like, oh, whoa, these people, are cool. Let's make sure they don't get killed by a storm.
Also,
It's also
it's
not quite a donation, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, but it's still supporting the church.
Is it though if they're breaking even? But
Yes.
regardless,
We need that holy water.
we need it. So I guess
I
we're
don't know.
just
How do you know they paid for the silver? The government might be paying for the silver.
I'm willing to say you guys have enough sway to convince them all to sell you holy water. So
Success.
So,
That's how you know you
or-
made it.
remember that storm out there? We stopped it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, what?
We stopped that shit.
We were like, storm, not today.
So, yeah, go ahead and deduct that money and get yourselves 10 units of holy water.
Already done.
We ran out into the street and went, rain, rain, go away, come again another day, and it all
Ugh.
fucked off.
I mean, in a weird way, we kind of did
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
That is the entire premise of the control weather spell.
Yep.
Who wants the 10 vials of holy water?
Well, I suppose technically you can donate them straight to the captain's inventory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I
We can just go
think
straight there.
it might potentially be. Well, we did buy like all the holy water, but considering they think holy water might help, what if we showed them that you can create holy water? That might
But they
be
would
good
have to have
for-
a magic user.
That might be good for morale.
Yeah.
Oh, to like convince them?
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
I mean, they go into a demon island, they're worried, oh, demons. If there's a paladin on board,
Oh, I see.
they
Yeah.
will probably feel a lot safer.
I mean, there's a paladin on board till we leave, but yeah, I mean...
Well,
Yep.
Yeah, but
But
then
then
they're
they-
going away from the demon
Yeah.
island, so they don't have to
They're-
worry about it anymore.
I mean, also, is that the thing that you want me to, like, show off for them? Is that I can make holy water?
Well, I feel like your glowing sword can be any adventurer.
There's so much other shit I can do.
Yeah, just like I'm loving the idea of just you guys are just all sitting around like as this holy water is like being loaded up into like a crate, and Elizabeth's like, "Oh, Kelariis!" Turns to the like 6 foot tall dragonborn in shining plate armor with magic sword, magic spear, magic scepter. I know how you can convince them you're a paladin. Make some holy water.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, you could also show them your terror world that you have power, but I feel like that is gonna be
My what?
your terror world, your rod of truth.
Oh.
The Bastion.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's really gonna do great.
No, you heard it,
That's
guys.
not,
Guys, I found the perfect thing.
Not gonna be good.
This is Kelariis.
God. What is this?
Oh.
Oh, for
yeah.
fuck's sake.
That's exactly how it would go down.
So,
saying is there are other ways I could show that I am a paladin that don't
I
involve...
know, but like, what I'm saying is,
Our
showing
people-
that you're a paladin will probably definitely go a long way to boosting morale if we're
Yeah,
heading
I
to
mean,
Demon
like-
Island.
Yeah, but I feel like see, the thing is, with all the other ones, usually it involves harming someone or healing someone. And
No!
Yeah. That it basically involves people getting hurt.
Let's not do that.
I mean,
well,
to be
Grim,
fair-
do you want to have a
fair.
sparring match?
To be fair, you could spend 10 minutes summoning a magical glowing horse on the deck,
Oh
Yeah.
my
but I
god!
think that would confuse them more than anything else.
I'd be like, why is this horse here?
Because I summoned it out of thin air.
wait, does it have to be a horse?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a horse. Good
It doesn't
point.
have to be a horse, but I think I've only ever used it to summon a horse.
What else
Yeah,
do you summon?
Yeah, you could use to summon.
Giant squid.
Oh my
Well,
god.
in-
I know,
in-
I'm
in
a
a-
little more restricted.
In a previous campaign, it was used to summon a giant lizard, so...
Yeah.
True.
Sure, fair.
I don't think that would really put the crew at ease, but
Probably
No, I
not.
don't think so.
Hey. Guna was the sweetest giant lizard.
Yeah.
Oh,
To be fair, they'd all be
great.
worried by Guna, and then Guna would lick
Guna's
their
great.
face and
Licking,
she'll be like,
licking her
"Hey!"
stupid ass goofy eyeballs.
Yeah. She'd just lick her own eyeball, and all the crew would go,
oh,
I don't know if that would put me at ease. That would be like, oh.
sigh of relief. It's just a normal lizard. It's not a deadly lizard.
I mean, it could still eat you.
I mean, it was a Dodongo, it was a deadly lizard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that particular, like, normally Dodongos are a deadly lizard, but that Dodongo was a friendly lizard.
Anyway.
Also, guys, I can cast daylight or something. I don't know. There is stuff I can do that's not just fighting people.
Close. I don't just fight.
I could do things other than hit people. Come on.
well, okay. How about this? You think of something to impress the crew, and then we'll think of something that how we can all impress the crew.
Grim, do you want me to throw you?
That was not quite what I had in mind.
It would be something to see her yeet you across the deck.
Just like score a football goal with the main mast. Just
Oh!
Admittedly, I'm not quite sure how I would convince them. I would have to just give a rousing speech.
Looks like Quagrim's blasting off again.
But hmm. But yeah, no. I feel like magic is the best way to convincing people.
So as you head back to the boat, carrying this big crate of holy water, you just walk up the deck. Captain Tolban comes out, sees you guys stepping onto the deck along with her crew, just sort of seems a little surprised and sort of says, "You're back early."
Oh,
Yes, we were very successful.
there's just one thing left to do, and that is
Yeet Grim across the deck.
Yes.
oh,
Well, yeah, the one thing being raising spirits.
yeah.
Not the alcohol kind. Unless that would raise spirits. Actually,
I
probably
was thinking
would.
of like the ghost kind.
Oh no, that would definitely not work.
Oh,
That would probably really not work. Also,
sorry. Wait.
I'd like to actually try to use the boat before we have to get in it and go to a fucking demon island.
That's also a good idea. But first off, how many crew members do you have? Like Mrs. Captain. Oh, I guess I'll just say Captain
Captain.
Tolban.
Yeah, she
Lord
like
Captain.
you go, Mrs. Her brow just furrows, and you're just like, Captain.
Yeah, works for both.
That's Grim. He just defends everyone.
Yeah. It was gonna happen at some point.
Well, it's a subtle way of checking, you know. Are they on the
Oh,
market?
what?
No.
Grim!
Hey!
Dang.
Minnie,
Oh.
I am
I'm
so-
sorry. Can I just you know what? Just fucking
No.
Oh well.
Okay, you could get me a spot in the captain's quarters. No.
No!
okay.
This is getting worse and worse. It's great.
It is.
Just stop. Just anyway, we're moving on to it. You what?
Okay. Yeah. So Captain Tolban sort of takes the crate of holy water, sort of like puts it down, opens it, examines it, so says, "Well, I sailed in with 6 crew. I sailed in with 6 crew, myself included. I don't know how many of them are going to want to come back after I essentially had to stiff them for a week's pay, but they should all be out in the tavern tonight, so you can either go and try and talk to them whilst they're drinking their troubles away, or I can call them here tomorrow morning and we can sort some things out. It's up to you, really."
How much is a week's pay for one of them?
That's a good question.
How much is a week's pay for a sailor?
Let me look in the player's handbook, because I believe it actually tells me in the player's handbook.
Well, I guess is it skilled or unskilled labor?
Quick. Also, actually, quick. Does anyone know any sea shanties? We can lead some singing.
That seems like it would end badly.
You can sing some sea shanties. Kelariis must know a sea shanty or two.
Have you ever heard?
They're all interconic, that's the problem.
Oh yeah. good point.
No, we just have to bring up the spoon story. Like that's a
Oh, no.
callback.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing. I could I mean, I might know sea shanties. I live near a coast.
I don't think so, because you never went outside.
Ignore that.
Well, it's a pretty crucial part of that, to be fair.
No, it's fine. Damn it. Curse my life of study.
It's like I can start singing, but it'll be in a language that probably they don't understand.
Yeah. Could you not translate them?
I don't think that they would hold the same sort of like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rhythm.
true.
So Captain Tolban says, it's, for the kind of work we do, it's about 12 gold a day per person. Oh, 12 gold a week per person.
Okay. 12 gold a day was a bit steep.
Yeah, that's 4.
Per person, so that's 60 a week. Oh wait, you have 6 crew, so that's 72.
6 crew, herself included.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's 5 crew
five
members.
people and her.
Yeah, she has 5 crew members. And then she's the captain.
Well, I think before we continue this, how do you really need any special preparations in order to potentially pick us up? Because I assume this is included if we keep morale high enough.
It depends how well the initial trip goes. If things go poorly, we'll probably need to stock up on supplies again before we head back, but fingers crossed, God's permitting, we won't have to use too much of this. And she gestures to the holy water.
We'll probably be fine without it almost, but we'll. Yes.
She picks it like a vial of it out and sort of examines it and says, "You know, I've never known a group to be able to get their hands on so much holy water without even asking what it's for."
Well, I mean, A, we kind of guessed what it was for, given what we're asking of you, and B, you could say we have experience with churches and holy orders. I mean, one of our number is a member of them, of one of them.
Well,
Though he's not here now.
Tolban turns and raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, that's curious."
Yeah, though he's not here now.
Whom does he serve?
The Order of the Golden Lion.
Ah.
regardless, well, I guess we could can't hurt to hear why you would actually want to use the holy water.
Well, it's simple enough. The reason boats stick so close to the coast when we sail up that way is there are a number of creatures that live on the island. Winged beasts, the size of large birds. They're significantly more dangerous than birds, however. They fly in packs, small groups of 2 to 3, and harass anyone that sails too close to the islands, attacking people. Their claws and beaks are deadly enough, but they're capable of releasing toxic spores from their scales. It's enough to kill a man in a matter of minutes, hours, if you don't wash it off. And the only way that you can wash it off is with holy water.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, we figured it was something to do with the island.
Well, good thing we have Arya here. They won't get within 100 feet of the boat. before they're-
Yeah, they can't get within 100 feet of me. Shoot you down, bitch.
It's like you can shoot like 600 feet away. It's like
Yeah.
I can shoot 120 feet away.
Captain Tolban sort of grimaces and says, it will take a lot more than arrows to just take them down. They're incredibly hardy.
this good thing we.
That's fair.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to say it's not a regular arrow or
I mean-
regular bow, and this is the
Yeah.
one case that it is.
The
I mean,
one case.
Yeah, I would like to ask out of character. Like, do I know of anything that might be similar to what she's describing?
You can make me a religion check.
Sure.
And actually, Grim, you should make me one as well
Yeah.
with your special ability.
It would make a lot
Oh,
of sense.
God damn it.
Wait, does that mean I get advantage?
You would get advantage, yes.
Pull up advantage and religion.
Okay,
Oh damn.
nice, double
Doesn't
23s. So again, you're like as you think about this creature, there's that moment again when just Puck's voice just slips into the back of your mind and says, "That's a rock." They're a lot bigger than she's making them out to be. Some of them can have a wingspan of up to 15 feet. They're not to be trifled with, and the poisonous powder is definitely a concern.
Well, it's good to know.
To be
Oh,
fair,
yeah. The other thing he would say is also make sure you cover your ears when they're around. Their screech is, well, rather dangerous.
That is good to know. Also, do you always listen in on our conversation?
Damn.
Down.
No,
it
it's
doesn't respond like it heard you.
Uh, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's-
no, it's
It's probably because you start thinking about it.
Yeah,
and
it-
goes,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's knowledge imparted to you through a boon that you can call upon as if it's part of your own memory.
Okay. Good.
You basically have cloud storage for the demon files.
Wow. Cloud storage for the demon files.
That sure is a sentence.
yeah,
That is.
That is what we need to store all of Grimm's thoughts.
the cloud.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
but how many
Simon,
how many gigabytes does he have though?
Yeah.
How many gigabytes of storage does he have?
And how much of it is nudes?
What?
God.
Don't put
Hey,
your
the
nudes
question-
on the cloud.
Question is,
my
how much
God.
is it?
Highly unsafe.
I hate all of you.
Especially Jayla, who didn't
It's
say anything.
It's
No,
32
Jayla's the
32
only one
gigabyte.
who gets a pass
Yeah.
here.
He's got
Cool.
he's got 32 gigabytes of storage. 2 gigabytes is the demon knowledge.
God.
Wow.
This is fine.
I'll let you decide what the other 30 gig is.
I don't want to know.
Puppies.
Puppies.
Cat
I-
pictures.
Cat
Cat
Ah,
pictures,
no, motivational cat pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, like the cat hanging from the rope, like hang in there. It's just loads of those.
this is fine.
And really old memes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I can have
No, it's
Like
Cheeseburger?
Success Kid. But it's just grim.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's why he never goes down. He's like filled with
Yeah.
motivational quotes
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Oh, is that
posters.
how you do your your commanding strikes and stuff?
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
pull on that reserve of motivational cat pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also how he gets energy for a second wind.
Yeah.
God.
He just like closes his eyes, he sees like the motivational cat posters and takes a deep breath, then he's healed.
Oh, this is taking like a weird turn.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Of course it is. It's fucking
Anyway.
weird.
So,
But anyway, if we're done, Elizabeth's gonna say, well, I'm gonna go down to the beach and see if I can, well, find out how this boat works.
Okay.
You can
Well-
join me or not,
okay.
because
Well-
it might be dull.
Considering, I'm assuming that. Well, we'll probably be talking to some of the sailors. While we're heading into the bar, because there's no better place to talk to a sailor.
So you're going to talk to them tonight, rather than tomorrow morning.
Maybe both, but we'll at
Okay.
least we'll try tonight.
Yeah.
But we'll see
Well-
what happens
I
tomorrow.
wonder if it
Well,
may
yeah,
be better
well-
to approach them tonight as if we're not
Yeah.
trying to convince them of anything and just like getting to know them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Throw that out there as an option.
Did she say what? That's the thing. Did she say what bar they went to?
I don't have the name of a bar, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, she can tell you. I will have to look up the name of the bar because that's in my other notes.
I was gonna say names of bars are kind of easy to make up.
Well, there
I
is
did-
there is an established bar on the dock, and I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, you can just do adjective, weird noun, boom. There's your bar.
the crispy
But yes,
Yeah, the crispy seagull.
the crispy. Wow.
Seagull.
Oh
That
my
could be a bar.
God.
So
Could totally be a bar.
I think on that note, we will take a short break and come
On
back.
that bombshell.